pwedeng mangyari kapag sumabog ang Yellowstone Supervolcano na matatagpuan sa Yellowstone National Park. Ang Yellowstone National Park ang kauna-unahang national park sa United States na matatagpuan sa Wyoming hanggang sa kalapit nitong Montana at Idaho. Ito ay kilala sa mga animal species na naninirahan dito at sa mga geothermal features, lalo na ang sikat na Old Faithful geyser na bumubuga ng mainit na tubig kada 44 na minuto hanggang 2 oras. Ito ay nangyayari simula pa noong taong 2000. Sa kabila ng nakamamanghang kagandahan at atraksyon nito, sa ilalim ay may natutulog na peligro na kapag nagising ay kaya raw tapusin ang sa ating mundo. At kung ganitong mga videos ang trip mong panoorin, please don't forget to like, subscribe, at i-click mo na rin ang notification bell para lagi kang updated sa mga videos na tulad nito. At sa ating pagpapatuloy, ang Yellowstone Supervolcano ay isang volcanic caldera. Sobrang laki ng kalderang ito. Ito ay may sukat na 55 by 72 kilometers. Nabuo ang kalderang ito noong huling tatlong supereruptions. Mahigit 2.1 milyon taon na ang nakakaraan. Ngunit bakit nga ba supervolcano ang Yellowstone? Tulad ng nabanggit ko sa aking nakaraang video, tinatawag na supervolcano ang DEI nito ay umabot sa magnitude 8 o ito ang pinakamataas. VEI o Volcanic Explosivith Index. Ito ay kapag nakapag-release ang bulkan ng 240 cubic miles na volcanic materials kapag sumabog ito at pasok dyan ang Yellowstone. Kaya tinawag itong supervolcano. Ngunit kakaunti lamang sa mundo sa nakaraang 10,000 taon ang pumutok na bulkan na may VEI 8 ayon sa United States Geological Survey. Ngunit maraming bulkan na posibleng sumabog ng mga oras na posibleng may VEI 8 at kasama na dyan ang Yellowstone. Kung mapapansin, ang Yellowstone ay sumasabog sa interval na 725,000 years at kung susundin ang trend na ito, ang time frame ng pagsabog ng bulkan ay sa kasalukuyang panahon na pwedeng sumabog ang Yellowstone. Dahil tatabunan ng pyroclastic flows ang mga states na kalapit nito tulad ng Wyoming, Montana at Idaho, at ang ibang bahagi ng United States ay makakaranas ng ash falls. At kung mangyayari ito ang magiging pinakamalaking migration ng mga tao sa United States. Nakakatakot at nakakalungkot kung iisipin. Ngunit maliit lang ang chance na sumabog itong muli ayon sa mga eksperto. Dahil ayon sa kanila, kailangang tunaw ang 50% ng mga material o magma sa ilalim ng bulkan. Ngunit sa kaso ng Yellowstone, ay 15% lang ang tunaw sa una nitong magma chamber. Samantalang 2% lamang ang tunaw sa ilalim na chamber nito. Para sumabog ito, ay dapat ay may sapat na pressure para itulak ang magma pataas. At kung sasabog man itong muli, ay mayroong posibilidad na hindi ito kasing lakas ng mga pagsabog noong mga nakaraang panahon. Alam kong marami pa rin kayong mga katanungan tungkol sa Yellowstone Supervolcano. Tara't pakinggan natin si Dr. Henry Haisler, isang geologist sa Yellowstone National Park. At kanyang sasagutin ang mga katanungan tulad ng aktibo pa ba ang Yellowstone Supervolcano?
Many visitors, when they come to Yellowstone National Park, don't realize that they're in one of the world's largest active volcanoes. All the hydrothermal, the hot water features in this park are the result of the Yellowstone volcano. The volcano gives us much of our elevation we have in this area because it heats the ground. That ground is less dense, so we have a high volcanic plateau here of 8,000 feet. It has supplied many of the rocks and the soils that are in this area, so the vegetation is responsive. to the Yellowstone volcano, and of course the animals are responsive to the vegetation. The simplest, perhaps most eloquent way to describe it is the heart of Yellowstone. Yellowstone would not exist without the presence of the volcano.
Ano-ano ang mga palatandaan na sasabog ang bulkang ito?
First, think of the ground surface, and then let's start having a mass of very hot molten rock, which we call magma, moving up towards the surface. As it moves up, it starts to break the overlying rock, and those breaks basically are earthquakes. So in the area on the ground surface above the molten rock which is moving up, there will be hundreds to thousands of earthquakes per day, and those earthquakes will probably be in the 4.5 magnitude range or larger. The other thing that occurs as this gets close to the surface, the ground starts to deform. It actually gets bent. So in the area of the earthquakes, you should also see significant ground deformation. Sometimes up to a yard a year may occur preceding an eruption. Also, we would expect to see changes in the hot water features, the geysers and hot springs, as this molten rock gets near the surface, and we would expect to see changes in the geothermal gases that come from the ground. Now, do we have earthquake swarms in the park? Definitely. Do we have ground deformation? Definitely. Does the hydrothermal system change? Every day. But are those signs of an impending eruption? No. All these things have to be coincident in the same area and very concentrated, a greater magnitude, and many more of them than we currently see. So having an earthquake swarm near Norris and ground deformation in the White Lake area and changes in the thermal system in Mammoth, they're all part of the normal vital signs of this volcano, and there has been nothing that has been indicated that there is an impending eruption.
Tinutunaw ba nito ang Park Road?
In the summer of 2014, there was a 3-mile section of road along the Firehole Lake Drive, which is a side road that is north of the Old Faithful area, that was closed because the pavement had become soft and road oil was seeping up through the pavement. Reports were that this was due to increased geothermal activity in the area, and also people then became concerned that this indicated increased volcanic activity in the area. And this wasn't the case. Yes, the road is in an active geothermal area. It's a side road that allows people to view Great Fountain geysers, White Dome geysers, other thermal features. As such, the road is on very hot ground. When we get a very hot day in the summer, with all the sun beating down on the black asphalt, and the road had recently been chip sealed, so all the cracks in the road were sealed with oil, which not only stopped the rain from getting into the road, but stopped the hot geothermal vapors from escaping the road. So the three things of very hot air temperatures above 80 degrees Fahrenheit, the road being in a thermal area, and the asphalt basically being sealed by new road oil that was black, all coupled to deform the road. Within 2 days, our park maintenance crews had been out and worked on the road and fixed it. It's open for travel and has been ever since after the original 2 days closure. This also happened back in 2002 when a segment of the road near White Dome Geyser approached 196 degrees Fahrenheit. The asphalt became soft, and there what occurred was roughly a 60-foot area of the road. The asphalt was stripped off, which allowed the road to breathe. Gravel was placed there, and that segment of road has been open ever since.
Kailan ba mangyayari ang super eruption?
First, let's describe what a super eruption is. It's just a very, very large eruption. An eruption of at least 240 cubic miles of molten material, and usually that molten material is forcefully vented into the atmosphere. It's not just one large explosion, but through time, there's a lot of molten material vented into the atmosphere. In Yellowstone's past, there have been two super eruptions, one at 2.1 million years ago that was about 600 cubic miles of molten material, and one 640,000 years ago that was 240 cubic miles. To put that in comparison, the eruption of Mount St. Helens was about 0.1 cubic miles. So the super eruptions are very large. They do change basically world climate, temperatures, everything else due to the volcanic ashes and gases that are expelled. Do we know if there will ever be another super eruption of Yellowstone? No, we don't. The volcano experts who study Yellowstone, the volcanologists, do not know if there will be another super eruption of Yellowstone. Is volcanic activity and volcanic eruptions, are they in Yellowstone's future? Definitely. But the most probable eruptions are much smaller than these super eruptions. Now by smaller, we may mean they might be as large as a Mount St. Helens sort of eruption, or even much smaller than that. Maybe an individual vent that puts out a very nice Hawaiian-type basalt flow. A very robust monitoring network is in place in Yellowstone National Park that monitors earthquakes, monitors ground deformation, monitors stress and strain within the earth, and all these data are online real-time through the Yellowstone Volcano Observatory. So none of those data, which are publicly available, have ever indicated to the experts that there's even a potentially small impending eruption.
Mabibigyan ba kami ng mga warning? O ano-ano ang mga warning kung sasabog na ang
One of
bulkang ito?
the important aspects of the monitoring equipment is to be able to give scientists the ability to predict in advance when an eruption is going to occur. And in its simplest form, the larger the potential eruption, the more molten rock that's coming up over a greater area, the more signals that will occur, the more earthquakes that will occur, the larger the area affected, the more the ground deformation will be occurring in that area, and the more there will be changes in the thermal system and gases. So the larger the eruption, the more advanced notice there'll be, and the smaller the eruption, the less advanced notice. But that's the way we would hope it would be, because the smaller the eruption, the less the effect of it to Yellowstone or even to smaller areas than just the park itself.
Ginawa ko ang videong ito hindi para takutin kayo. Ginawa ko lang ito para magbigay ng kaalaman. At dyan po nagtatapos ang videong ito. Marami pong salamat sa inyong panonood. Sana po inyong nagustuhan. At lagi po nating tatandaan, be nice to everyone.